I remain convinced that McDonald's giving us back the Angus beef patty is the key to world peace. Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and that you are having a great day. And in today's video, I'd like to sit back in my pretty squeaky chair, relax, and have a little conversation with all of you guys about bulk. That's right. In today's video, I am going to be answering a viewer question, and this should be a quicker, easier video to make, I think and or hope. Basically, one of you guys had gotten on the YouTube comments the other day and had asked me, hey, Uncle Frank, what's bulk? What is bulk? And what a question, because it's a harder question to answer, but it's also a simpler question than it really needs to be. Basically, okay, what is bulk is going to vary wildly from seller to seller, buyer to buyer, store to store. There's going to be loads of different definitions for what constitutes bulk. There's going to be categories of bulk, cards, entire slews of cards that people just consider bulk. But in my opinion, bulk is any mass of cards that a individual seller, for whatever reason, deems not worth the time and effort to sort through, list, and sell as individual singles. They instead opt to sell it off as a lot, a bulk lot, for a quick, easy buck. That bulk lot will inherently be worth less on the sale than if those individual cards had been listed out individually, priced out individually, sold individually. Instead, the buyer's getting a discount, the seller is getting rid of a lot of cards that they otherwise wouldn't deal with, and everyone's happy. Okay? Now, what that threshold is to treat a card as bulk is going to vary wildly from person to person, because there's a lot of different price points at which individual people feel cards are worth even dealing with. You know, people like me would consider anything under $1 to be bulk. People with a higher net worth and a higher average cost on the cards in their inventory would consider things like under $5 to just be bulk, not worth dealing with. Throw that into a bin, sell it off as a lot, right? Some people don't do it by price. Some people do it by rarity for certain card games. You know, commons are all bulk for one card game, for instance. Anything that's not the highest tier of rarity is bulk for a given card game. And there are a lot of different ways people can classify things as bulk. Sometimes entire card games are just treated as bulk because it's a dead card game, right? Sure, there could be a genuine collectible in there, but you're just trying to get rid of the stuff. You don't care if there's an actual rare, valuable card in there. You just want to get rid of all of your Android Netrunner cards from back in the old days because you don't want to sit on them, right? And why someone would like to categorize things as bulk and just not deal with them individually, that's also going to vary wildly. It's very often, it comes down to space. Not everybody has a lot of room for their TCG player store, their brick and mortar store, their eBay store, whatever have you. They're not going to have a lot of room for a lot of thousands and thousands and thousands of cards. When you're in this business, when you are in the habit of buying and selling cards, you are going to accumulate thousands of cards over a potentially very small period of time. You know, if you're just cracking open boxes of random card games to flip on TCG player, you're going to have thousands of cards build up in your inventory over any period of time. You know, unless you're like one of the lucky few who gets to flip one or two cards at a huge profit, right? If you're not those guys, if you're actually cracking, buying, etc., you're going to build up inventory, and that inventory takes up space. So based entirely on how much space you have available, what your storage capacity is, that's going to determine at what point you start looking at different price points and going, okay, anything under this is bulk, I'm just going to sell it as a bulk lot, right? That really does determine what your business strategy is moving forward, how you approach the bulk question. And there's no right or wrong answer here. Some people, like I said, some people have very wildly different price points, not just for buying bulk, mind you, but for selling it. You know, some people will, especially in like places like Facebook Marketplace, okay, they're going to have these 100 or so random cards. They're all commons, from Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know, Ancient Guardians, right? They're all commons from a relatively new set that no one really cares about. But they know that these cards are worth 10 cents a piece. So they want the full 10-cent value for it. They think they're going to get the full 10-cent value for it, but it's bulk. They think that their bulk is going to sell for, well, decent prices. But even people like me, people who buy bulk, who want bulk, aren't going to be willing to pay that 10 cents a card price for cards from a set that no one really cares about. Someone else, someone who's not me, might actually be willing to pay that, either because they just want to get access to bulk, they're just getting into it, or because for whatever reason they really like Ancient Guardians commons and uncommons, right? That's just an example. Different people are going to have different price point tolerances, not just for selling, but for buying as well. And that's fine. There's no, like I said before, there's no right or wrong way to eat a Snickers bar. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's cup. There's no wrong way to buy and sell bulk. Because at different price points, things are going to work out. As long as you're making a profit, as long as you're being careful about your space and storage and all that jazz, and as long as you're happy with the money you're making out of your bulk buying adventure, everything's good. Because bulk can be extremely lucrative, extremely profitable, but it takes space. It takes time. And it is a very slow burn to get through it. Those are just facts. So at the end of the day, what is bulk? Because I can see that this video is over 5 minutes. What is bulk? That definition I gave earlier. Any massive cards, any massive product that is not really worth it to the individual in question to go through and sort and sell individually. You want to get rid of it as a lot, as a bulk lot, to try and maximize profit for minimum effort. And that's totally fine. So that's my video for today. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you agree with me, disagree with me, think that Mortal Kombat is in fact a good video game. I'm curious to know. Check out the Discord, check out the Patreon, and thank you. Blah, 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 blah. Got tongue-tied there at the end. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.